author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Hey, this is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson coming to you on a Sunday live. Now, what I've been learning is that people will go looking for my videos and they'll go to YouTube. And unless they click on live, they will not see the videos. So the videos that show up on every YouTube page, and again, I'm just now discovering this as we gear up to really start to push our podcast as well as our YouTube channel. We're going to start uploading, not just going live, but also uploading the videos so that when you go to the website, you'll see the most recent video that we have uploaded. Woo! Now, if you're here for the first time, I want to say welcome. And if you got questions about nutrition, about fitness, about health, about living your healthiest and best life, we are here. And we're also all about telling the truth and providing people with clarity, because there's a lot of people out there that think they know nutrition and they don't know nutrition. And that's not to be insulting, but a lot of you people that are in the fitness industry, a lot of you people in the nutrition industry, you're just sharing a lot of falsehoods. You don't have the background, and you definitely don't have the data to support some of these crazy ass recommendations that I continue to see people fall prey to. And what's really unfortunate is that a lot of people, because you come across with confidence, they believe you. And it just sends them down a road that ends up being another moment of frustration. And that is not cool. It really isn't. You know, it's like I was on a call the other day and there's a bunch of nutritionists and dietitians and fitness people. And at one point, I just had to keep it real. I said, look, you guys, what you're talking about is theory. You do not have a proven methodology. There's evidence out there that you can refer to, but you're not clinically proven. And I've done the work. We've done 2 evidence-based clinical studies that proves without question that our methodology works. So you can't argue it. It is what it is. So don't hate me. You know, like the kids would say, because you ain't me. My goal is to share the truth with people and to help put people in a position where they can learn to eat regular, everyday food in a way that not only helps them lose weight, but puts them in a position where they can improve health. And oftentimes, that's improving and reversing some conditions that people don't even know is even possible. Now, once someone sees the truth, it's kind of like when you first saw the iPhone or you first saw the Android. Once you see it, you can't unsee what you saw. Now, you can go back to a flip phone, but eventually you'll be like, I kind of want to get that updated phone because you've seen it, you've experienced it. I mean, come on. And that's what we continue to see with our diet-free life methodology, is that it's proven. Now, today, I wanted to come live and I wanted to share some information with you about mortality. Dying, with a specific focus on what you can do to prevent or at least reduce the risk of dying prematurely. Now, if you're 25, 35, you're a realtor, you like showing your cleavage and you like being out there and like, look at me, you're not thinking about mortality. You're just thinking about what you look like. And if you're an influencer, oftentimes, and not all realtors, but I'm just giving an example. It could be a lawyer, it could be a school teacher, whatever. You may not be even thinking about what life is like when you hit that decline. And because of a lot of the things you've done in your past, as far as how you took care of yourself, the nutrition that you had, you put yourself in a position where it's either game time, you got to turn this around now, or it's going to suck, meaning your quality of life is totally interfered with. And then you're put in a situation where you know the end is coming. And look, we all can't be here forever, but the reality is, if you're going to be here or why you are here, let's make the most of it. So quality is important. And many people will say, you know what, I'm just going to get more meds. Well, they know that that's messing with them. You know, you take a husband and wife, let's say they both are sexually active. And now the husband is taking blood pressure medication. Well, if you don't know about blood pressure medication and how it can contribute toward erectile dysfunction. Well, now that relationship is hindered and the quality of that relationship is off. You follow me? Whereas if he took care of himself a little bit better, ate a little bit differently, did something to get off those meds, that part of their lifestyle could still be one of quality. Now, men don't like to talk about this, but let's talk about it. Right? It's like, the guys that I do coach and it comes up, I'm helping them with that. But they're humble and they're willing to like see how they can make some modifications to their life. Not totally overhaul their life, but make some modifications. And a lot of you just want to keep guessing, right? It's like you just want to keep guessing and hoping that it works out. And then you jump on this diet and then you jump on another diet. Then you feel embarrassed if you gain some weight back. There's some people catching this that have gained some weight back, but they lack humility to call me, especially those who have been my coaches. They lack humility, right? You want to be humble. The greatest warriors in over time are humble. Stay humble. It's okay to ask for help. It's wise to ask for help. I have a client, a recent client, well, not too long ago, who literally, we were getting off metformin. Her blood sugar levels were coming down rapidly. And I'm going to get to where we're going, you guys, because I got some really cool stuff to share with you today. But this client was doing great. And so one day she calls me and she says, Robert, my daughter's giving me a hard time about having you as my coach. And I was like, what do you mean she's giving you a hard time? She goes, Mama, you can do this on your own. You don't need help. You can do this on your own. Like, why do you need to call him? I was like, why would she even be thinking like that? I mean, Michael Jordan had a coach. Celine Dion had a voice coach. Michael Jackson had a dance coach. I mean, I've been coaching a whole bunch of people. Tony Robbins is a businessman. He has a business coach. So why is she giving her mom a hard time? Because she's calling and it's a control thing. It's weird, man. Like the dynamics around psychology, people are just odd. They love to get into your business. And we just love to well, not all of us, of course, but we just love to let people get in our business. And next thing you know, you're off track. And then you're struggling and battling and struggling and battling. And then you beat yourself up because you're like, well, I should be able to, keyword should be able to do this on your own. There's a lack of humility, and sometimes people are just stupid. I don't know where these people fall, but why would you do that to yourself? I mean, I celebrated Linda today losing 110 pounds, getting off all her meds. She's saving money because she's not spending money on her meds. She's feeling great. She's like rocking and rolling. And she was on the fence because I had worked with Linda years ago. And she had unfortunately gained the weight back. But one of my clients, Dan the man, he encouraged her because I was coaching him. He was down 50 pounds. He says, hey, reach out. Robert's got this program. Reach out to him. And Linda, which I call just a strength, had humility and reached out. Then she became my client again. And now look at her. She went from 249 pounds. She's now 139 pounds. She's lost 110 pounds while a whole bunch of people just watch and do nothing. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. And I love the psychology of it because quite a few people will allow their lack of humility to block them from making the call or sending an email, which is really sad. Because every day you put off reversing or improving your situation, you lead or move yourself closer to some of these challenges that I'm talking about today. And that's death, mortality. Now, I'm going to finish my story and then I'm going to share with you some really cool stuff. Because this client who I was helping get off metformin, her daughter was trying to block her from working with me. Another couple months goes by and she tells me that her husband, who's very lean, got lightheaded one day. And he could eat whatever he wanted. So she would a little complain because it makes it hard if he's eating the Haagen-Dazs ice cream and she's working hard to either eat a little bit or not at all. She's like sharing that with me. And I go, look, you can't just, he may be lean because a lot of people think your weight is indicative of your health. And that is so far from the truth. So here he is eating what he wants. He gets lightheaded one day. They go to the doctor. Guess what? He's full-blown type 2 diabetic. Full-blown type 2 diabetic, Mr. Walking around skinny and lean. So they put him on metformin. Hemoglobin A1C, I believe, was over 8%, which is high. Then he didn't like how he felt. He didn't like the diarrhea and the nausea, feeling nauseated. So he stops taking it. I don't know where he's at with that now. Well, about 6 months goes by, and this client, who was my client, we were doing great. She calls me and says, I'm going to put things on hold. And I had her in a discounted program. She wasn't spending much money. Okay. Not at all. You'd be amazed what she's only spending to get my time and to be coached by me. It would blow your mind, right? Because normal coaching is $400 to $1,200 a month. I had her in a program, okay, and I don't always have this available, where she was only paying $50 a month to be coached by me in this special program that we have. It's ongoing, but we can only take people into that program based on their income level and if we have spots available. So instead of spending $400 a month, she's spending only $50. I mean, think about it. That's a cup of coffee and a sandwich a week. That's on the same level as a Weight Watchers, and you ain't getting nowhere near the knowledge and understanding and access to what we have. That's like going to Noom and they ain't teaching you jack. So this woman cancels with me, and I encourage her to, hey, stay focused, do the best you can. So months go by. She sends me a text message. She's in the hospital. And it's pretty late. So she's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So I said, hey, can you jump on the phone? We jump on the phone. She's in the hospital with a glucose over 400. Now, some of you don't even know what that means. But if you're over 400, that's not good. You're one step from stroke, heart attack, and dying. Now they're recommending she takes on insulin. So what do you think that ER bill or that hospital visitation bill is going to be? Is it more than $50? What do you think the monthly expense of that insulin is going to be? Some people, it's not going to be anything, but it's going to be an expense. Now look at the quality of her life. And there's going to be other things they're going to want to put her back on. So because she's got a daughter who's talking smack, who ain't going to be there, don't get it, but now is in panic mode because mommy's not looking good. Got a husband who's not complying with his own health. And you got her now, she's in a worse situation when we were on our way to be successful. That is a sad story. That is a very sad story. And it's real because I see it happen all the time. Imagine taking supplements, right, that you think are helping you, and you later find out after 10 years of taking a regular supplement that it actually was causing damage. I'm seeing that when I coach clients. You're not just getting someone that says, hey, how you doing? And let's just talk about your numbers. We're talking about you being informed in a world where technology is moving rapidly, the way food is manufactured and delivered and the things that we're eating and the different, everybody would benefit from having a coach. I really believe that once you're informed, once you are aware and you choose not to have a coach when you could afford it, and I'm talking about like one of our coaches, me or one of our coaches, because of our methodology and what we do, you are stupid. Seriously. And for the young lady who was trying to talk her mom out of like working with a coach who was actually helping her, once she becomes aware, so I'm not saying she wasn't aware because I think she was ignorant, but once she would become aware and then she would choose to interfere with that, then she would become a dumbass. Like you could be stupid and then you could mature to become a dumbass. I don't work with those kind of people. Your life is important. So we're going to talk about mortality. We're going to talk about mortality right now. Okay, let's talk about it because it's something that a lot of people don't talk about enough. But before I go there, if anyone has any questions for me, because I'm going to share something with you that's going to really rock your world a little bit today. Okay, but let me give a couple of big shout outs. We got Sharon Giss is a woman I met in early 2000. I think Sharon, I met you in 2002 or 2001. It was before our first weight loss related book came out. And I just was always fascinated with Sharon because she is a sister of psychology. She had gone to a school that I have the utmost respect for. And I got to work with her back then. And it's so cool that you fast forward 22 years, because of Facebook, we are reconnected. And I'm actually given the opportunity to coach Sharon. So I'm always just thankful for you. And then we got special guest of honor, the one and only Linda Jackson. I'm glad you caught this, Linda, because you're special. You're special. Okay, and then let me see. Someone says my glass is half full on what I know about nutrition. Okay, I don't know who that is because you must be in one of our private groups because the name won't post up automatically if it's private. You have to put dash and then your name. But yeah, let's keep the glass half full. Always. Let's, you know, even if it's half empty, as long as we're willing to like do the work, you know what I mean, and get ourselves to be like informed. And then we got my man. I can tell who he is based on his name. He says, hoping I can watch the live without any interruptions. I hope you can too, because I'm about to share some meat. Okay, some meat. Okay, Sharon confirmed that it was 2001. All right. So let me ask you guys who have caught me live, or even if you're catching the replay, what is the number one cause of death in the United States? Take a wild guess. Okay. Doon, dan, doon, dan, doon, dan. What is the number one cause of death in the United States? It's been this way for a really long time. So I think if you just really think about it, you can figure it out. Now, as you guys are looking at that, let me just tell you that what I'm about to share with you, all of this information is brought to you by our Detox Drop. Drop it like it's hot. It's a great way to kickstart any weight loss fitness program. You can learn about that. And if you want to learn more about the Diet for Life, the methodology, how we're able to improve and reverse things like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, excess body fat, fatty liver, poor sleep, we have a coach for you. We have a program specifically for you. And if you're just not sure, or if you want to find out if we actually have any slots available for our discounted program for coaching, then fill out our quiz, and then my assistant Lori will probably be in touch with you. So again, the Detox Drop is a good place to start. But today we're talking about how nutrition can reduce and prevent most deaths. Okay. So what is the number one cause? Okay. All right. So my man, Bowman07, says heart attack. Okay. We're going to throw that right into heart disease. Heart disease has been the number one cause of death for a long time. Now, before a year and a half, 2 years ago, number two, which is still number two, and at one point it was definitely up there, is cancer. And there's a whole bunch of different cancers. And they're both racing upward. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. In 2021, COVID was number 3. Now, COVID is not number 3 at this very moment, but it was number 3. So COVID is out of there. Now, the leading cause of death, as we talk about this, is preventable, right? So we know that heart disease is number 1, which the way you eat, the way you move, how you take care of yourself, all of that is a big part of why so many people end up getting heart disease. And I had to take my daughter to the fair, and long story, I had no plans on being at the fair, but I got to go to the fair, and just walking through the fairgrounds, just watching what people are eating. And I'm not judging people. I'm just telling you what I saw, what people look like, the alcohol being thrown around left and right. I'm not beating that up. I'm just telling you what I saw. These funnel cakes and all this crap I saw people eating, which the reflection, you could see it in the way they looked. I mean, I don't think I saw anyone that looked like they actually took care of themselves. Everyone looked like they were one step from a heart disease. The only thing they had going for them, a lot of them, was their youth. Yeah, it was really sad. You know, cancer, we don't see it coming. Then you have unintentional injury. Now, that one's going to be excluded today, right? Because you can get in the car, it could happen to anybody. You can get on the plane, you can get on the train, and there could be a major accident and you could lose your life. But everything else that follows, to include stroke, chronic lower respiratory diseases, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and check this out, chronic liver disease and cirrhosis, with the majority of them being non-alcoholic liver disease. It's bad. It is really, really bad, you guys. And when I look at liver disease, I know that that's preventable and it's fixable. 1 out of 4 adults are walking around with fatty liver right now and doing nothing about it. Most of them don't even know they have it. And if you don't know you have it and your doctor hasn't done anything to help you with that, it just progresses. And then there's stages of it. So then when you're finally ready to do something about it, Did it get so bad that you can't reverse it? And it's not like you got to give up carbs. We show people how to eat carbs. You get to eat regular everyday food. I got clients going to In-N-Out Burger, clients eating, pasta and Mexican food, all that. They just don't know. Most people just don't know what is available for them. And that's why more and more I'm putting in the energy and the time to make sure that we get the word out and we start to help people. So we have a big plan coming up, a big push on people becoming informed. Okay, informed. Now, Sharon makes a comment, and thank you, Sharon. Sharon says, poor nutrition is causing the leading causes of death, and nutrition can heal. That is true. But as I mentioned the other day, Sharon, I said, think about this. More people die because of the way they eat than people who smoke cigarettes. But if someone offered you a cigarette, you go, hey, I don't smoke. Hey, I'm not trying to kill myself. But if someone offers you a slice of cake, oh, yeah, let me get another one. Take one home. We live in a place where the hypocrisy is extremely high. And I'm not saying you can't ever, have a slice of cake. Same as I'm not saying you can't have a moment where you want to have a smoke. But the compound effect, the ongoing effect of it is what is causing the problems. Now, the one thing that I want to share with you, and it blows my mind, is when I look at the top 10 causes of death. When you look at diabetes, it's above Alzheimer's. And most people don't get recorded as dying from diabetes. The people who die as a result of being a type 2 diabetic, they ended up having heart attack or they had a stroke. You see what I mean? Or it leads to some other situation, but then diabetes is still there. So when you look at diabetes, right, and you realize over 30 million adults just in America have type 2 diabetes. You have about 90 million that are pre-diabetic. And here's the staggering part. 80% of those 90 million, so let's say about 70%, 75%, or 75 million, 70 million, 75 million, who are pre-diabetic, they don't even know it. They don't even know it. As I mentioned earlier in the story, the husband was thin. He was eating what he wanted. Then one day he started feeling lightheaded. Goes to the doctor. Hemoglobin A1C over 8%. Boom. So how many people right now that's going to happen to? It increases every year. So it's not going anywhere. So eventually we have to wake up and go, okay, well, what can I do? What can I do to improve my situation? Now, David, who I can't wait to interview David because he's in the fight. And when I say he's in the fight, is that he found himself in a situation where he became a type 2 diabetic. And next thing you know, he's on insulin. And he's very smart and wise and knowledgeable guy. And he's in a fight to win this. He would love to be in a position where many of you are. I have clients who would love to be in a position where they could get a restart. But what I admire about David is that, not like many people, he ain't giving up. He is, and it's a psychological battle, especially when you're willing to do the work. I mean, this guy will work out 2 times in one day. And he knows how to and he's smart. He can see it. And when you're dealing with some conditions, sometimes you could do everything perfect, but the numbers won't show what you're doing as far as the work. That can be really frustrating. And so when someone can wake up every day and begin that battle every day, I commend that. That's not a dumbass. That's not a person who lacks humility. That's a person who is framed with wealth of health as a priority in life. And those kind of people are the people that I like to talk to. I love coaching people like that. I don't like to coach those people that lack humility. I like working with people who are like, let's go. Robert, teach me something that I didn't know yesterday. I mean, I have clients, like one of my clients, she's down, I don't know, when we started working together, she's 163. And her goal was, if I can get the 150, I'll be a happy person. And I said, well, if all things were possible, where would you like to be? She goes, well, the last time I was 125 pounds, I was in the 10th grade, and I'm a 50-year-old woman. Well, she's 121 pounds right now, you guys, because she took a shot at it. I got to work with her. She was a great person to coach, and now she's killing it. So why is she still like my clients? Because she likes to learn. She likes and understands the importance of accountability. And it's my job as her coach, and coaches, you guys hear me on this, that we must constantly stay up to date, read as much as we can, be on top of the literature, challenge the literature, and be in a position where we can educate our clients so that they are constantly learning and being inspired, right? Being pulled forward. And if we do that, then we're good. Not like your typical doctor, right? Where it's like they don't even teach you. So we're really more like doctors, because the real literal meaning of the word doctor is teacher, to teach. It's like when I meet people who sell supplements and I go, hey, you could become a coach with us, with our organization. And they don't have interest in it. I go, what is wrong with you? Because here you are being a health advocate. You're recommending supplements to someone and you're doing it blindly. And unfortunately, you got people who are blind that are following your blindness. And that's a setup for disaster, because no one's going out of their way and putting forth the energy to make sure they're constantly challenging themselves to see if they could take their knowledge and understanding to the next level, so they can help other people take their knowledge and understanding to the next level. Think about it. Now, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, it's beating up a lot of people. We can do things no matter where you are. I took on a client, I'm going to end on this. I took on a client yesterday who's 87 years of age. I was more excited to work with him than he'll ever know. He's got, stage 3 liver challenges. He's got an insulin pump. He's injecting insulin. He's got some weight that he'd like to lose. I think he has some stents in his arteries. And there's a whole bunch of more I'm going to learn. I mean, I literally just took him on as a client. So why am I excited to work with him? Well, he's got a lot of wisdom. He's 87 years old. I love the fact that he ain't done. What can we do? And he liked what I was presenting. He liked what we're talking about. And he learned about me and the Diet Free Life methodology from someone who did our 8-week fat loss challenge. His son. Oh my God, you guys. For me, you have to understand, when you're a coach, you guys, and you work with a lot of people, you'll start to see this, or you meet a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have parents and they've learned about the Diet Free Life methodology, and they don't tell their parents about what we're doing for people. I'm not saying you can convince your parents, because a lot of them just get in their own way, right? Lack of humility, whatever. But this man who did our 8-week fat loss challenge, I've never met him. He reached out. I told him about what we're doing, called his dad. I said, let's get on the phone. He's a client. So the son discovered something that for his 87-year-old father, he felt could help his father. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. We're never too young. We're never too old. Any questions for me before I say goodbye on this beautiful Sunday? And I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And I hope this was helpful, because the take home, or the bottom line, is, hey, 9 out of the 10 preventable, or 9 out of the 10 primary reasons for leading causes for death are preventable. We can all get in a car and have an accident. Okay. But the way you eat, the way you move, the way you think, the way you take care of yourself, that is the primary way that you can reverse or prevent premature death. I don't want any of you to be part of the leading cause of death. Now, if old age just happens, it does happen. And then you fall into that category, hey. But like my 87-year-old new client, I'm ready to get going. Let's go. And I'm on top of my game, so I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm going to help him. And then he's excited to learn more about nutrition. That's a win-win. That's a win-win. All right, you guys. Well, I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for letting me share. If you want to learn more about what we do, go to dietfreelife.com. If you look at under the description, we have a free quiz. Take the quiz. And when you take the quiz, let's say you have weight to lose. Let's say you take the quiz and you're not already a client, and you acknowledge that, yeah, my cholesterol could be better. My blood pressure could be better. My glucose could be better. And if we reach out to you and give you some options, we can connect you with the coach. We can put you in. Maybe I'll coach you if I have some slots available. We have a challenge we can put you in touch with. When we do that, don't do nothing. Do something. You acknowledge that you got some things you need to deal with. So if you put it off, is it the lack of humility that you have? Are you don't have any money? Then reach out to us for that, because I have coaches that are in training, and I could probably, get you a VIP pass where we can make you part of their training, and it won't cost you anything. If you reach out and communicate with us, no matter what your situation is, we can help you. There's a way to help everybody. Okay? So you guys have a good one. I'm going to end on Linda Jackson says, as always, Robert. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you for sharing. Knowledge is power. And you know what, Linda? Stay the course. Sometimes it's easy to get there. And sometimes the real challenge is once you get where you want to be, because Linda's down 110 pounds. Then it's like, what's next? And I know you want to help people, but what's next? Well, the big fight is when you get to where you want to be, is staying where you want to be and nurturing it, right? Nurturing, watering that grass, making sure that you're able to thrive. And that's where the real work is. Okay. I'm Robert Ferguson. And as always, I appreciate you guys being here. Until the next one, peace out.